Welcome to Navajo Sage Weaver Tarot's channel. Welcome, you guys. Thank you for coming and watching my video. I appreciate it. This reading is for my Sagittarius. So if you have any placement in Sagittarius, uh, then this reading is for you. Remember, this is not a personal reading. This is a general reading. So this reading is for Sagittarius. I am going to shake the gourd to move any stagnation energy wherever you are this time. All right, Sagittarius. Um, just want to say thank you for watching this video. Appreciate it very much. I am going to pull a card. This is an archetype card. This is, we'll see what the energies that we're the type of archetype energies that we're dealing with, Sagittarius. This is the overall energy here. What we need to let go of, what Spirit's asking us to let go of, what we need to focus on, what our higher self wants us to share with us, what message they want to share, spirit, animal message, and then a crystal that wants to come out. I have some tea leaf. This is for extra messages. And I got a couple of decks here to do any clarification. All right. All right, Sagittarius, let's get on with your reading. Still. All right, spirits and guides. Spirits and guides. Spirits and guides, give us one card for Sagittarius. All right, spirits and guides, one card for Sagittarius. One card for Sagittarius, spirits and guides. One card for Sagittarius. Do one card for Sagittarius, please. One card for Sagittarius. All right, one card for Sagittarius. One card. One card for Sagittarius. One card for Sagittarius. One stone, one crystal for Sagittarius. One crystal for Sagittarius, please. One crystal for Sagittarius. All right, spirits and guide. Can I get some more messages for Sagittarius? Can I get can I get more messages for Sagittarius? What do you want to say to Sagittarius at this time? Spirits and guides. Messages for Sagittarius. What other messages do you want to share with Sagittarius at this time? What other messages do you want to share with Sagittarius at this time? Spirits and guides, what other messages do you want to share with Sagittarius at this time? Spirits and guides, what other messages do you want to share with Sagittarius at this time, spirits and guides. What other messages do you want to share with Sagittarius at this time, spirits and guides? What other messages do you want to share with Sagittarius at this time, spirits and guides? What other messages? What other messages do you want to share with Sagittarius at this time, spirits and guides? What flew way over here uh, was the beetle. Good fortune. All right, Sagittarius, let's get into your reading. So we have the archetype destroyer. The light attribute for that is releasing what is potentially destructive. Prepare for a new life. Shadow attribute, intoxication with destructive powers, destroying others, dreams, or potential. All right. And then the current energy, the overall energy is the Two of Swords here. So making a choice that needs to be made, right? Protection, defensive, right? She's the Two of Swords also is a gateway, um, a crossroads, right? So options here. So we're having options for the overall energy. And then what we need to let go of is the Ace of Swords here. The Ace of Swords here is probably maybe not great thinking, lies, right? Holding or concealing the truth. Um, the Ace of Swords can be also blocking the truth, right? The Ace of Swords too is stress, some sort of mental blockness, poor judgment, and some sort of dishonesty, right? So letting go of that energy. And then the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands is energy that we need to focus on is our power struggle, right? What's annoying us? What's distracting us? What's disturbing us, right? What's this archetype of destroyer coming in? What do we need to release, right? What do we need to walk away, you know? Um, the Five of Wands energy also, you know, can be problems resolved, right? Um, so so you're preparing for something, preparing to protect yourself in some way. Why? Because of this Ace of Swords of letting go. What your higher self is trying to say to you is the death card here. The death card energy is, it's just like, you know, kind of like another layer, right? On your journey, you know, you're born into this human form, right? You're born into it. You're supposed to have this life experience and your higher self is telling you that, like saying, "Hey, Sagittarius, you're a human being. You need to experience life. You need to have these experiences in your life in order to be able to grow, mature, right? Start you listening to yourself, start, you know, taking care of yourself, And then, you know, here it's showing the bone. So it's saying that, you know, when then then death comes, right? And then we're back into who we are as a being, right? Um, and so you have these layers from the skeleton to your skin, and it's saying all these layers is making who you are. Um, I always, every time I think of layers, whether it's mentally, like working through steps or layers of how our being is being in or uh, understanding cybersecurity, they have layers too. And it's really interesting if you understand um, that aspect. You can even apply it with your human being because we're kind of like computers, whatever input you put in, it's going to stay with you, for the rest of, you know, your journey. And computers are like that, they're have a lifespan, even though people may think that they can live like AI, can live, forever. It really can't because in order for AI to live, you have to upgrade. And so your higher self is saying, you know, when you focus on, going up the ladder, you have to understand that you're gonna change in some way. You're gonna have, some sort of rebirth, right? And then your animal spirit that wants to come in is the orange bell belted parrot. Uh, Radiance, expression, communication, and acceleration. And then the other one is sea turtle. And sea turtle is beginning, self-radiance, journey, and home. So talk about home here, having that death, having death, and then being reborn or going back to your roots, right? And so the crystal that wants to come out for you, Sagittarius, is tiger's eye. What is tiger's eye? It is a golden brown quartz display, a light reflected optical phenomenon known as chato, uh, chatocoyance or cat's eye that appears just below the stone surface. Who needs it? The currently overthinking or moody swing Geminis and Virgos. So Gemini's your opposite side. So you know, maybe you are as Sagittarius, but right now you're in your opposite sign, which is Gemini. So you might want to check out that reading too. Um, where to put it? In a string or prayer beads hanging from the middle of your finger, uh, pounded during meditation along with your blessings. That's where to put it. And then when to use it. When your thoughts are not your friends, when reading Jungian theory or attempt to um, decipher a cone, zine co- koan, and it's weird that I was talking about cybersecurity because one of my philosophy class and um in I don't remember if it was computer science, but they talk about Cohen, the Cohen theories and um yeah, so might want to look that up. Cohen, Koan. Um and then when you are all roar and not enough per when only equaling equilibrium of the mind, body, spirit, left brain, right brain can get you squared with the universe. And the quote here says, balance your whole being. So, tiger's eye. And then we have the beetle, which flew all the way, off the table, actually. Good fortune. We have a man dealing or relations with a man. Stork, news of a birth or new business opportunity. Owl, good advice from a wise person. Scale, keep your life in balance. Coin, money will be coming to you. Finger, warning you are of a problem either now or in near future. Bell, announcement, door, opportunities are waiting for you. Elephant, a long journey, either physical, mental, will leave you wiser at the end. You have elephant energy, and if you can see, you're bringing that elephant energy too. Um, ladder, climbing toward success. Haystack, karma. You will reap what you have sown. Well, great worries uh, over nothing. Staff, you'll be taken care of in difficult times. Love. Kangaroo, unsettled times need to plan ahead. Tower, solid foundation, success with effort. Ram, a stubborn, aggressive person. July, women dealing or relations with a woman. Rat, someone working against you behind your back. Target, a goal-oriented person. Archway, new opportunities, possibilities, and paths opening up. Heal, obstacles to overcome. Star, granted success. Oh, all right, Sagittarius. I'm going to pull some clarification and see why the Ace of Swords is here for you. Why does Spirit want you to let go of the Ace of Swords? Why does Spirit want to let the Ace of Swords go? Isn't that funny? I left one card behind, so we're going to take that card too, for some reason. Didn't come with the deck and I didn't realize it. So we have the Page of Swords here. All right, spirits and guides. Let's get one card for. Okay, so the Ace of Swords here. Let's look at this. Um, so we have some maybe truth that and blockage that's been sealed, or some sort of lie, or some sort of cloud thinking, right? And it's interesting because having that cloud thinking, and then the Page of Swords um kind of has uh that cloud. I mean, not the Page of Swords, I meant the High Priestess. Has that cloud, that overthinking, right? Clouded insights, clouded blockage, clouded intuition. So um maybe your high priestess, right? Maybe, having clouded mind, it's your um you know, there's just all over the place, right? Um if you can see, her eyes are like triple vision. So maybe you're not seeing you're not seeing everything right. And then also with the um page here, the Page of Swords, maybe you didn't see something, or you didn't read something right, right? If you look at it, she's pointing at some sort of wording, and then the eyes in the book. And so maybe you didn't see anything, you didn't see something right. And so your mind's all clouded. And then with the Page of Swords here, some sort of, bad news came in, right? Um, if you see, like, hear the clouds, right? And then you got the bad news, and then it became very not cloudy anymore, you know? And you can see, like, one of her eyes has tears. All the eyes are not all over her anymore. They're, kind of in this dome that's really hard, because truth came out, right? Or some sort of issue, right? Legal issue of some sort. And um, because we're at this crossroad here, right? We're at this crossroad here. We are um, in a place where there's, we're opening up to new gateways, new portals, right? Because we're trying to move forward here. Mhm. And then you have the Strength card here. Um, maybe some sort of power, abusing power, right? Abusing your strength. Um, if you can see, her powers in is behind. So leaving your power behind too, like um and then maybe sabotaging yourself, right? And and just, you know, so that's why, so maybe, you've seen something, you read something, you didn't see it right, you got upset, made you, kind of got you mad, and maybe, it felt like bad news, And then, um, so you can't really think, right? And then what do? You start saying the heck with it, right? And walking away and sabotaging it and causing the storm behind and, and Spirit is saying, like, you don't have to do that, like just, you know, accept, right? Have acceptance because that's what we do as human beings is we accept our behaviors. Once we start accepting our behaviors, then we're able to move out of that thought, or that thought starts healing itself in some way, So with the five wands here, um, you know, um the distraction, right? Um, Spirit saying that once you let this go, then you'll move in and with the five five of wands. Um, this is once you start looking at this, right, and then what you're focusing on is the um, conflict, right, the distress. Sometimes we have to look at that. Um, sometimes we have to look at those things in order for us to move forward too, because we're only human and we're here only have human experiences, right? And that's what your higher self is saying to you. Yes, sometimes our journey is not always perfect, but we have to take that and look at it and say, why did this happen? Why was I triggered? Why did this behavior come out? Why did I react to that? And then when you start answering yourself and you start seeing your own patterns, then, your higher self is saying, hey, look, it's okay. You're here on Earth School having a human experience and, you know, that's who you are. You're a human being and it's showing you have a skeleton system, you're human, and you're on this earth, and um, so Sagittarius, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to do your reading, and I just want to say Hojona has clean, Hojona has clean, Hojona has clean, Hojona has clean.